Welcome. Now we're going to learn how to use the verb gustar in a sentence. Now in order to do this, we have to know the different forms of gustar. So let's get started. Up here, we have me gusta, which means I like. Down here in the middle, we have te gusta, you like. Over here on the left, we have le gusta, he or she likes. Now this also can have that usted, that you formal. Okay, down over here we have nos gusta, we like, and then we have les gusta, they like. Or we have ustedes over here as well. So, when we get done with this, now we're ready to move on. So, when we're first talking about these words, first thing we need to talk about is how to use them with verbs and with one or more objects. So, to begin with, let's go to some examples. First example is, I like to walk in the park. Well, first of all, we need I like. We know that as me gusta. Okay, to walk is the verb caminar in the park. En el parque. So, whenever you're talking about a verb such as caminar, it's just regular, me gusta. The other thing is when you're talking about a singular object. For example, me gusta el videojuego. I like the video game. Videojuego is singular, me gusta, no change. And here's why this is important. Because whenever you go with a plural object, like for example, I like sports. Alright? So, me gusta with sports, that's plural. So therefore, we need to add an in to the end of gusta. So we have gustan los deportes. Me gustan los deportes. The in makes no difference in terms of the singular subject or the plural subject. It doesn't matter. So it has no reflection on this me. It's only what comes after. If it's plural afterwards, then you need to have the in on the end. But if it's just a singular object or you have a verb, it stays as the gusta. It does not change. Now let's talk about the next rule with gustar. Okay, whenever you're using le or lace, you have to be more specific because, as shown over here, le can be in a he, a she, the usted, or it can be a name, and lace could be they, the ustedes, you all, or it could be more than one name, like such as Jamie and Mike. So therefore, we have to do something a little bit special when we're talking about le and lace. The reason why we don't do this with me, te, or nos is because it can only be one thing. Me gusta is I like. It can only be I. You can't change that. Te gusta, you like. It can only be a you. It cannot be anything else. And the same goes with we like. We. You can't change that. No differential or anything. So, when we're using le and lace, we have to do what we call a specifier. Okay? So let's use it in a sentence. He likes to run. So, what we're going to do is our specifier is going to be an a, and then whatever we're talking about. So now, when we put this, we know that the le is referring to the L. So we know it's a he. He likes to run. Okay, let's use it with a name now. Juan le gusta correr. Once again, the le relating to Juan, showing that Juan is the one that likes to run. Now let's use an example with les. So, a ellos les gusta correr. This sentence is saying that they like to run. And we know it's a they and not ustedes or two names because we have the a ellos, the les referring to it. So that is why we have these specifiers. Now, moving on, Gustar is a little bit different in the sense that the way we translate in English is a little bit different what the literal translation is, which means exactly what the phrase is saying versus how we translate it. So, to give an example of this is we have me gusta. And let's say I like to sleep. So me gusta dormir. Now, the issue with this is that we know that yo means I. So therefore, when we have me gusta dormir, how is this me an I? And the answer is it's not. The answer is that, remember, everything in Spanish is a little bit backwards. So what this is literally saying is sleeping is pleasing to me. Alright? So when you have gustar, it's going to be something is pleasing, and then whatever subject, to me, to you, to he or she, to we, or to they. So to give you another example of that, how about nos gusta limpiar? Okay? So limpiar means to clean. So we're literally saying cleaning is pleasing to us. And that's what we're talking about when we have a literal translation. Now, I want to review something that we talked about earlier, and I didn't go into the grammar part of it because I just wanted to show you the example. But we're going to go back and dig into this a little bit more. Okay, we said here, I like to walk in the park. Now, we see here, we have me gusta caminar en el parque. Now, you may be wondering, okay, why didn't we conjugate the verb caminar? And the answer is because we already did with gusta. Okay, so we're going to explain that one right here. So, we have me gusta caminar. Okay, this is what we're following as the one verb, two verb rule. Now, the one verb, two verb rule says that when you conjugate the first, you do absolutely nothing to the second. Well, gusta is our first conjugated verb. So therefore, we've already conjugated one in the sentence, so we don't need to conjugate caminar. So what do? We leave it alone, because otherwise it would sound very weird. So, we have this gusta caminar. We don't want to say, I walk is pleasing to me. No, we want to say walking is pleasing to me. So, another verb I want to talk about that's very similar and follows the same principles as gustar is the verb encantar. So, just like gustar, we have me encanta, te encanta, le encanta, nos encanta, les encanta. Now, these forms of encantar mean to love. However, this is not the love between people. This is like the love for objects, the love for food, and that kind of love. So therefore, it's going to follow the same principles. So, let's like we had before, let's just say you don't like to run, you love to run. Okay? So we need to say me encanta correr. Now, another way of saying this, instead of just saying me encanta, you can still say me gusta mucho. That is fine. And that technically means the same thing. But it's just another way of saying it. Because in Spanish, there's usually more ways than one. And that is how you use gustar and encantar in a sentence. Now let's talk about using Gustar and Encantar in a negative way. We've talked about how to say we like and we love things, but we never talked about how to use it as saying I don't like something. So, let's use some examples. For the first example, I don't like to go shopping. So, this is very easy. All you have to do is put a no right in front of the me gusta ir de compras. So it's like saying I like to go shopping, you just put a no in front of it to make it negative. Alright? But here's what something happens in Espanol. When someone asks you, let's say, do you like to go shopping? Well, that question would look like this. ¿Te gusta ir de compras? And this is what we have in Spanish, is what they call the double negative. And what that means is we're literally going to say no, no. Because, first of all, we don't like to go shopping. So no, I don't like to go shopping. But in an instance to say that, no is for the question, and the second no is for the I don't like to go shopping. So no, no me gusta ir de compras. Now in English that is unheard of. We don't do double negatives. Alright? But in Spanish they do. Another example of a double negative and how you can place things is such as this. I never like to go shopping. Alright? You can say no me gusta ir de compras nunca, never. Or you can say nunca me gusta ir de compras. So, for me personally, I like to just go ahead and use the nunca at the beginning. That way I don't have to worry about the other no, and I find that to be a lot easier. So, another part of this is how often you like to do something. For example, how about you say, I like to clean every day. You can say me gusta limpiar cada día, or you can say cada día me gusta limpiar. Either or is perfectly fine. And that is how you use gustar and encantar in sentences.